Welcome back. The 13th Funda Mzantsi Championship got underway on a high note in the picturesque Western Cape town of George. Over 290 inmates participate as part of this year's championship to read, not just for their own pleasure, but also to foster a more informed, compassionate and connected society. And they do so by going up against community book clubs, university students and school pupils. No doubt this program also helps inmates to reintegrate back into society upon release. Let's delve deeper into this initiative with the Correctional Services spokesperson, Singabako Ngobalo. Thank you very much, Mr. Ngobalo, for your time this evening here on Newsnight. So the Funda Mzantsi Championship is all about sharing a love of literature and reading. And it's also a second chance for inmates to stimulate critical thinking and to develop other skills. In other words, reading for redemption. How's it gone so far? We understand that championship kicked off on the 2nd, is that right?
Yes, a very good evening and thank you for having us. You are correct. We started on the 2nd, which was yesterday, and will be ending on Friday. This is the 13th year running for us having Funda Mzantsi Championship. It is very unique in a sense that we have an interplay between inmates, community book clubs, university students, high school and primary students, all of them under the same roof, working on a singular objective, which is the love of reading. It's all about literature. But it is not just reading, there's also book reviewing, spelling bee, and debates. And it is covering all official languages that we have, where we are even having plans in place to include the South African Sign Language, which was signed into law only this year. We'll definitely have it next year. But as a department, we've seen this championship growing over the years, and it's something that is really encouraging us. Hence, we continue to even reach out to other players to say, come on board, join us. This is for the country where we're saying, let us encourage South Africans to start reading. Some are doing it, but we want to see those numbers increasing. And we've seen the benefits of it when you look at our correctional facilities. The number of inmates that have published books, those considering formal education as a career of choice, there are more benefits than just reading a book.
So for those of our viewers who have never heard of Funda Mzantsi before, tell us how the championship element of it works. Are there knockout rounds? Does one person eventually win the whole thing? And are there different categories?
It's a championship in a way that there are elimination rounds. Everyone is fighting to go to George come October. In correctional facilities, we'll have those eliminations at regional level, and only the best will then book their tickets to go to George. You get the same with community libraries, your community book clubs, university students, high school students. They have their own elimination rounds. And we work together with the National Library of South Africa, and then the George local municipality will then host us. So that combination is working wonders for everyone, because you do not find the championship in a way that they're skewed. It is so skewed that you've got stronger opponents than others. They are all at equal length, and even the manner in which books are prescribed, you do not get the same books that were used during the elimination rounds. It is a new set of books that get prescribed for the national championship, and that's what makes it so interesting. And the nerves, everything that comes with it. So as a department, we are quite excited by this championship. Hence, we've made it a point that we sustain it for all these years. 13-year running is a milestone, and we'll want to proceed with it until such time that we have more and more community book clubs also participating. And we've never had a secret incident ever since we started with it, really demonstrating that when people are channeled towards a positive journey, they are able to do something which is constructive.
So you've told us a little bit about the incredible benefits for the inmates, inmates having written their own books, enrolled for formal studies, and the impact on their lives must be absolutely incredible. But tell us a little bit about the value for community book clubs, for university students, for high school and primary school learners, getting to interact with inmates and developing that level of empathy for other people's circumstances?
There was a research conducted in the country which brought it to the fore that the culture of book reading was not so good. In actual fact, the numbers were very negative. Then there was a campaign to say, how do we get South Africans into a culture of book reading? And this initiative was driven by the National Library of South Africa. They have a section there, I think, which is looking at the book clubs and also driving this particular program. And it's in a profit is called Center for the Book. And when the concept was also presented to us, we already had something along those lines, which was called, Reading for Redemption, where we're encouraging inmates to say formal education, but also, book reading, can free your mind, can present new things to you, and we can even transform your life. But now we needed to get all these initiatives conducted by different entities into one, so that at the end of the day, it is a movement that is guided so that you will have the results that you're looking for, where South Africans could be driven, towards the same direction. Hence, as correctional services, we said we can't just work alone on this thing. We need to work with other institutions. You will have schools participating, universities participating, but you cannot leave communities outside such a structure. And our main goal is to say we cannot be going for the other years with numbers going down. How we measure success is by having more book clubs participating. Hence, even though you will have the results announced on the last day, but we consider everyone participating to be a winner, because it is a long journey for one to get to the finals. And always say, what else is challenging that we'll put forward for the following years? And as a department, it's something that we're saying, let us not just be pleased to say inmates continue to dominate, but we want to see other inmates also joining in. Your youth offenders also being part of the program. So it is more about the country benefiting rather than small segments, in all those pockets in communities saying that we're doing something about it. Hence, working together in it will then give us the results that we're looking for as a country. And as correctional services, there are more benefits more than anything. And we've seen inmates turning their lives around, and being under one roof with other people even motivates them, because they can say that there is value in conducting yourself, in a proper way, because you can also compete with other people, interface with other people who not judge you for the uniform that you wear, but because of the contribution that you are making on the table.
Such an incredible initiative. We hope it all goes incredibly well. All the best to all of those participating inmates, community book clubs, students and learners from across the country, and to you as Correctional Services. Thank you so much for speaking to us here on Newsnight. That was Correctional Services spokesperson Singabako Nxumalo telling us a little bit about Funda Mzantsi, which is taking place for the 13th year, a reading and literacy initiative.